Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're taking a focused look at Huntington Bank shares, ticker HBAN. We've got a few recent reports here that you shared, and, well, the idea is to understand what's driving this regional bank's performance.
Right, and what it might mean for investors potentially looking at it. We're going to try and unpack the key insights from these sources.
Okay, so what do we got?
We have their first quarter 2025 earnings report. There's also a detailed due diligence report from April and another analysis piece also from April 2025.
So pretty current stuff. Covers financials, market view, outlook.
Exactly. It gives a pretty well-rounded picture, I think. So let's get into it.
So let's start with the earnings. That report was from, what, April 17th?
That's the one.
It shows net income hit $527 million. That's quite a jump, right? 26% up from Q1 last year.
It is a solid increase. And what's interesting is it seems tied to core growth. Average total loans, average deposits, both up 7% year over year.
Hitting around $131 billion then.
130.9 billion, yeah. So it really suggests, their main business lines are expanding quite nicely.
And there was something about share buybacks, too.
Oh, yeah, that caught my eye. The board approved a pretty substantial $1 billion share repurchase authorization.
Which usually signals management feels the stock is maybe undervalued.
That's the typical interpretation, yes.
Yeah.
It shows confidence. Plus, actually buying back shares reduces the share count, which can help boost earnings per share down the line.
Okay, good point. And what about looking forward? Did they update guidance?
They reaffirmed their full year 2025 guidance. They're still expecting loan growth between 5 and 7%.
And deposits.
Deposits, they see growing between 3 and 5%. So it gives a pretty clear roadmap of their expectations.
Okay, so that's the earnings picture. Now, you mentioned a due diligence report. Does that give us more detail on the financial health?
It does. It digs a bit deeper. For instance, it confirms net interest income grew strongly, 11% year over year. That definitely aligns with the loan growth we saw. However, it also notes something interesting, a slight dip recently in overall top-line earnings when you compare them to some peers.
Huh. So net interest income up, but maybe overall revenue facing some headwinds compared to others.
It seems that way. It paints a slightly more nuanced picture, strength in the core lending, but maybe broader pressures affecting the very top line. Could be competition, maybe costs, something to watch.
Okay. What about earnings per share in Q1?
Came in at $0.34 per common share. Now, that was a penny lower than the previous quarter, Q4.
Oh.
But, and this is important, it still represents that big 26% increase compared to the first quarter of last year.
Right, so the year-over-year story is still strong, even with a slight sequential dip.
Precisely. It underlines that longer-term momentum.
Did the report give a PE ratio or comment on valuation?
No specific current PE was provided, no. But it did mention that analysts generally perceive Huntington's growth rate as maybe slightly below some others in the financial sector.
So valuation is something investors would need to weigh against that perception.
Definitely. Something to keep in mind.
How about their capital position? Banks always talk about capital ratios.
They look strong, actually. The CET1 ratio, the Common Equity Tier 1, is around 10.6%. That's a key buffer against losses.
And returns. Return on equity.
Return on average common equity was robust, 11.3%. And the return on tangible common equity, or ROTCE, was even better at about 16.7%.
Okay, 16.7% ROTCE. How does that stack up? Is that good for a regional bank?
It's actually quite strong. That figure compares very favorably with many regional peers whose ROTCE can range anywhere from, low single digits up to maybe the mid-teens. So 16.7 is definitely notable.
So what's driving that strong return? Does the due diligence report get into their advantages?
It does. It really emphasizes Huntington's competitive strengths. Particularly their commercial banking side is highlighted.
Okay.
And also their strategic expansion. They've been moving into new markets, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas.
Diversifying beyond the Midwest base.
Exactly. And that geographic diversification seems to be a key engine for their organic loan and deposit growth. They aren't just relying on their traditional footprint.
That makes sense. So the report basically describes them as a strong regional player.
Yes, and one that's actively investing. They mention investments in new revenue streams, technology as well, trying to enhance customer service.
Trying to stay competitive against other banks and, I suppose, fintechs too.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic landscape out there.
Okay, so we had earnings, due diligence. What about the third source, the analysis as of April? What perspective does that add?
That one gives more of a snapshot overview. It reiterates Huntington is a $210 billion asset regional bank holding company,
Right.
nearly 1,000 branches across 13 states.
Hmm.
And it highlights that their focus isn't just core banking,
What else?
specialized services. It points out they're the #1 originator of SBA 7A loans.
Oh, small business administration loans. Being number one there sounds significant.
It could be, yeah. It suggests real expertise in that niche, which can be quite relationship driven. Plus, they mention wealth management, treasury management.
So a broader suite of services. Does this analysis also touch on the Q1 results?
It does, yes. It echoes the earnings report net income of $527 million, that 26% year-over-year increase we discussed.
And the ROTCE.
Yes, it reiterates that strong 16.7% return on tangible common equity. Clearly, that's a key metric they want to highlight.
So this analysis seems to pull out some key strengths then.
Definitely. It lists things like that industry-leading SBA lending, the expanding footprint, especially deposit growth in those new southern markets.
Right, the Carolinas and Texas.
And, of course, that robust ROTCE, which is outperforming many regional peers.
Okay, sounds positive. But analyses usually mention risks too. Did it flag anything?
It did. Potential risks were noted. One is their concentration in the Midwest. Around 60% of their branches are still located there.
Meaning they could be more sensitive to economic slowdowns in that specific region.
Potentially, yes. Geographic concentration is always a factor for regional banks.
Any other risks?
The other big one mentioned is the potential for margin compression, particularly if the Federal Reserve starts cutting interest rates.
The net interest margin squeeze. If rates fall, the gap between what they earn on loans and pay on deposits could shrink.
That's the concern. It's a perennial issue for banks tied to the rate cycle. So those are, factors that could influence future performance.
So considering those strengths and risks, what was the overall recommendation or conclusion in that analysis?
It included a summary recommendation of hold.
Hold. Okay, so not a strong buy or sell. What's the reasoning?
The reasoning suggests that, well, while the company shows strong operational execution and those good returns we talked about,
Right, the ROTCE.
clear catalysts for, say, significant upward movement in the stock price might be limited right now. There's uncertainty around interest rates, the broader economy.
Makes sense. A bit of a wait-and-see approach, perhaps?
Seems like it. The analysis also notes the recommendation assumes a moderate risk tolerance. It did add a little caveat that maybe more aggressive investors could consider small positions, specifically based on that strong ROTCE. But the main call was hold.
Okay, so putting it all together then, what's the big picture from these reports?
Well, essentially, the information paints a picture of Huntington Bank shares as a regional bank that's clearly demonstrating strong growth in its core business lending and deposits.
Driving that solid jump in net income year over year.
Exactly. And they're being strategic about it, expanding geographically into new markets and achieving, a really strong return on equity compared to many peers.
Plus the share buyback showing management confidence.
Right. But, there are things to weigh on the other side.
Like the slight dip in top-line earnings versus some competitors.
The potential sensitivity to the Midwest economy and that ever-present question mark around interest rates and margins.
So analyst sentiment sounds cautiously optimistic, acknowledging the good execution but aware of potential headwinds.
I think that's a fair summary, yes. Cautiously optimistic seems about right based on these particular reports.
So ultimately, understanding these different pieces, the growth, the returns, the expansion, but also the risks and the relative performance, it helps form a much more rounded perspective on Huntington Bank shares right now.
That's the goal.
Cool.
Hopefully this exploration has provided some valuable insights, maybe sparked some of those aha moments for listeners trying to understand the company.
Definitely. And if people want more granular detail or the absolute latest numbers.
Well, for official info, Huntington's own investor relations page is always the primary source. And, financial news sites like Yahoo Finance will have up-to-the-minute data and news.
Good resources. Well, we hope this discussion was useful.
We encourage everyone listening to subscribe for more analyses like this one.
And please do like and comment on this discussion. We're genuinely interested in what stood out to you the most from this information about Huntington.
Yeah, what questions does this raise for your own research or your own view on the banking sector? Something to definitely think about as you continue exploring the world of investing.